And in a shocking twist in the custodial death case coming in from Ajith Kumar, in fact, the complainant in this theft case, Nikitha, has now become the center of this deepening storm. She has allegedly gone into hiding in Coimbatore as multiple complaints are faced against her and calls grow even louder for her arrest at the moment. However, Nikitha now has released a video statement earlier saying, let me quote her here, that I am not hiding or absconding. And she was, in fact, very recently spotted with her mother and a driver at a well-known tea shop along the Coimbatore-Pollachi National Highway. Remember, it was her theft allegation that led to Ajith Kumar's arrest, and what followed, we all know, was fatal. Ajith Kumar, a 27-year-old temple guard, was tortured in police custody and died the very next day. Now, claims are emerging that Nikitha's complaint may have been influenced by powerful officials and that the case was used to target Ajith Kumar. Even more explosive details, TVK Ajith's supporters have filed a petition in the Madras High Court demanding permission to protest and calling for an SIT probe into his death. They have also accused DMK party members of threatening Ajith's family into silence, saying that they will be ostracized if they speak out. Now, with surveillance footage of Nikitha and fresh petitions only piling up, it seems that this case is far from over. My colleague Thoya Jakshi is joining us on the broadcast. Thoya, first up, please fill us in with regards to the whereabouts of Nikitha at the moment. What's the latest on her?
Well, yes, Sakshi, based on her complaint, the Tiruponnam police interrogated Ajith Kumar and 4 others, which includes his brother Naveen Kumar as well. While the others were released, Kumar was taken by the Manna Madurai Subdivision Special Police Unit for the further questioning on June 28th. Ajith Kumar allegedly died due to custodial torture by the police. Following the incident, 5 policemen involved in this assault were arrested and jailed for Ajith Kumar's custodial death. Nikitha, she was the person, who went and filed a complaint, stating that she lost her gold jewelries at the Tiruponnam police station. Based on her complaint itself, the police, had arrested Ajith Kumar and taken him for interrogation. Now that the latest that's coming in over here is that Nikitha is now being identified as the central figure in this case. Allegations are being raised that her complaint, influenced by the pressure of the higher-ranking officials, led to the fatal assault by the police on Ajith Kumar. It has come to light that multiple complaints have now been filed against Nikitha at various police stations, including and individuals who claim to have been affected by her have been, launching formal complaints at their nearby police stations in their respective districts. Now that fearing arrest, Nikitha, who released a video statement, like you mentioned, that she says in that statement, saying that she is not hiding or absconding. Earlier today, Nikitha was also spotted with her mother, with her driver as well, at a tea shop in Coimbatore-Pollachi National Highway, where a bystander recorded the video on the mobile phone and alerted the police. However, no actions was nearly taken. And now that the latest that's coming in over here, where now that Nikitha is in Coimbatore, and now the police has also been, eagerly waiting to get the arrest order so that they can go and arrest Nikitha wherever she is, Sakshi.
Thoya, would request you to please stay on with us. We've got some more details coming in. The postmortem report of Ajith Kumar, the guard who died in police custody, reveals that there were 50 external injuries on his body. Extremely shocking. Such a large number of injuries are commonly associated with extreme violence, often seen in custodial torture or illegal interrogations. Now, the postmortem has also revealed that there were 12 abrasion injuries, superficial injuries such as scraps, scratches or friction marks on the skin. Must be because of the defense here. The presence of abrasions in multiple locations suggests the body may have been dragged or that the individual struggled while being restrained. Like I said, must be in order to defend himself. There were several bruises also on the body. These injuries now indicate nerve compression and blunt muscle trauma at the site of impact. Internal pattern of the bruises show multiple impacts beneath the surface. This suggests repeated blows to the same area, indicating systematic and targeted assault, which is a hallmark of torture. The question still remains, what did he do to face this? The injuries appear from various angles, implying they may have been inflicted using different tools such as iron rods, plastic pipes, or rubber weapons. This raises the possibility that the victim in fact was also restrained while being assaulted by multiple individuals from different directions at the same time. There is also a piercing injury in the center of his abdomen. The injury was in fact likely caused by inserting a rod or object into his abdomen. There is a very strong possibility that it penetrated the internal organs such as the intestines. These are the shocking visuals and the exclusive ones coming in on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. The visuals will narrate the horror that Ajith had to go through, the intensity of attack on him. This type of wound is potentially fatal, the one that he had to sustain on his abdomen. Like I said before, there is a very strong possibility that that tool which was used to penetrate his abdomen must have injured the internal organs, such as the intestines in this case. The post-mortem report also indicate blow to the forehead and internal bleeding in the skull as well. This is a very crucial observation in the post-mortem and could be in fact related to the direct cause of death. Post-mortem also highlighted that the victim had cigarette burnt marks, which also indicated torture. The post-mortem report has also suggested us that there is a very strong evidence of severe custodial torture, unlawful interrogation, or a premeditated murder.
This is not a custodial death. This is the 25th custodial murder since DMK came to power. Ajith Kumar, a security guard with the temple who had been called for an inquiry, and his brother, both were exposed to brutality. However, his brother was left out. Ajith Kumar's come to the police brutality within the police station itself, and there is a blatant cover-up of evidences that relates to brutality, such as the plastic pipes, chili powders, iron rods were all removed from the scene. This clearly indicates how rattled the entire scenario is with respect to the police force handling Ajith Kumar. And the cherry on the icing is, Ajith Kumar's brother is being taken away by DMK people in their own cars. And our district secretary and ex-MP Sendilnathan and our cadres intervened, staged a protest. Then police came and he was let go in the police vehicle. It clearly indicates that there is a major cover-up happening with respect to this Ajith Kumar's custodial murder. And we expect a transparent probe. But however, having known that the last 24 murders, there is no headway, this will be yet another big cover-up from the DMK. But definitely those who are behind will be brought to justice. And AIDMK will stand by those people who demands justice, particularly the Ajith Kumar's family.
Let's try to understand the post-mortem report here and all the chilling details that have emerged in this case so far, with some experts joining us here on the broadcast. Dr. Dinesh Rao, forensic expert, and Satish Kumar, advocate, Madras High Court, joining us for the conversation here. Thank you so much for joining us here. Mr. Rao, let me first come to you. What is the pattern and number of injuries, since we broke down all the details one by one to our viewers here, all the details that we have picked up, including the images exclusively here at News 9. According to you, what exactly do these information suggest about the nature and also the duration of assault that Ajith Kumar had to go through?
Yeah, see, the most important thing is, as indicated in your photographs, it's very clear that there are three different nature of injuries. One is the contusions, another is the abrasions, another is some scratch marks, and another so-called the penetrating injuries. So all this clearly indicates that is the nature and the distribution of this and the pattern of this particular injuries clearly indicates the assault. Absolutely, it is non-accidental in nature. That is number one. And number two, is this type of assault from the so-called law enforcing agencies is legal? I think definitely anybody can point out It is something which nobody can accept this, and it's unacceptable, and it is highly indicative of so-called torture in custody. That is number two. And the third is the other possible things, materials which are found at those particular place station, like chili powder and something. This is something which is unimaginable, unimaginable. So overall, another more important thing is, as you highlighted, that the penetrating injuries have penetrated certain parts of the intestines, and definitely that is the possible cause of death. So this multiple injuries and the internal injuries, and another more important, I don't know, I have not seen the postmortem report. I'm very much confident that those particular contusions and the so-called abrasions may have a deep-seated internal injuries which may be fatal or might have contributed to the fatality. I think I'm very sure the postmortem report might have indicated that. But overall, the question lies is now, absolutely, the policeman can never escape this as an accidental one. These are completely non-accidental, and definitely I can say, categorically state, these are homicidal in nature. Definitely not a policeman's job. This is not the job of a policeman. This is a job of a murderer, because this is what the nature, pattern, and distribution of injury clearly reflects. I think there should not be any doubt in this.
Absolutely. Let's also try to understand the legal perspective here. Satish, what legal provisions protect citizens from such custodial torture, and what sections of the IPC or CRPC do apply here in Ajith Kumar case, specifically against all of these personnel?
Nikitha, especially from the angle of if you say IPC or CRPC, the protection to such accused is quite less only, because we go only through there are offences stated, and there are some exemptions is stated in the law, especially if you go through the criminal laws and CRPC procedures. But where we have to see these things are the protection to the accused is only based on the right to privacy, or maybe the right given to anyone under the human rights, or maybe the fundamental rights, or even under the constitution. The protection is given even to a foreigner who has been maybe as as a terrorist who is accused or arrested by the police or whomsoever it may be. In this case, see, the protection to him must be by way of a human rights is more to be concentrated, because no one has got any right. Everyone's right to live, or right to have the liberty is ensured in our constitution itself. So the protection has to be given to such citizens who are all accused. Only by way of, even I feel personally, after seeing such cases, there should be a special amendments, or maybe a special law even for exclusive for the persons who are named as accused in any criminal cases. So I think it requires a lot of amendment in every act, which are all the criminal in nature, to protect such human rights, which are all guaranteed in our constitution itself.
Absolutely. Satish, please stay on with us. Let me go back to Dr. Rao here. Doctor, based on the injuries that have been described here, and we are continuously playing the exclusive images here for the viewers of News 9 as well, would you classify this, I just want to understand it better from you, would you classify this as custodial violence, custodial torture, or premeditated murder from a forensic standpoint?
See, one is, as I explained earlier, there are three different nature of injuries, and the distribution pattern is another significant one. And it is very clear from the observation that these are the injuries which led to the fatality. And all this thing has occurred not in the streets or in his house, it has occurred in the custody, that is inside the police station. So this sort of injuries which are never been expected from so-called police officer. So definitely, if the police officers are involved, and if since it has happened inside the police station, I don't think anybody can, I think it's anybody's guess that this is indeed a custodial death. And the premeditated murder, I can say it's not premeditated murder, indeed a murder, because this sort of injuries not expected by a policeman. The policeman has not understood his job, and definitely has resorted to such acts which a murderer does. And that murder or homicide has been very proved by the nature and distribution and pattern of injuries. I don't think anybody can defend this. I think the government should also be bold enough to not to defend such sort of unprofessionals, murderers, which are in the uniform.
All right, Doctor. Satish, let me come back to you. How strong is a post-mortem report, specifically in this case, of this manner, is going to be proved inside of the court, and how strong of the evidence it is when it comes to proving custodial torture or murder?
Especially in case of Ajith Kumar, the Honorable High Court to be appreciated and lauded, because they already taken the case very immediately. And an inquiry officer who is a magistrate, additional magistrate judge has been appointed, and he started collecting the evidence for the past 2-3 days. And it is to be appreciated, because the possibility of destruction of evidences is quite possible in many cases, because that's what happened in the previous history also. Now, because of the appointment of a judicial officer and who is conducting the inquiry for the past 2-3 days, he is collecting all the evidences. So when the evidences are quite strong, and he is going to submit the report to the Honorable High Court within a day or two, and so when it is getting recorded, the police authorities, they cannot go away from they cannot escape at any point of time. Even the family members or the colleagues of the victim, all have been called for. Even the common public were all willing to come and of their own to give their as a witness to give some evidences. They were also being called by the inquiry officer. This has to be appreciated, and because if this matter has been again given to any CBI or something like that, the state government is willing to transfer the matter to CBI. That CBI cannot take this matter, because I'm telling you, if this goes to CBI, the matter will get prolonged and people will forget. And this whatever has happened so far, there are 24 so far cases have happened, and no justice has been given so far. So in this matter especially, I really appreciate the Honorable High Court. They have taken this matter very seriously, and the inquiry have been started. And I hope definitely the justice will be given. Even the postmortem report, this has been submitted to the Honorable High Court, and even this has been observed by the Honorable High Court in this matter. So far the injuries in the autopsy report and also the postmortem report clearly shows that it is absolutely beyond any sort of doubt. It is proved that the murder took place very brutally. So there is the uniform people who are all the murderers cannot escape from this case at all. And one more thing I would like to say, in this matter, who has given the order for the special team? Still that is under question mark. And I personally feel, from the legal point of view, the person, maybe the uniform officer who has given such an order to form this a team of 5 or 6 members, and still that is in dark. That has to be viewed seriously. And now the media and the police people are deliberately diverting this issue on the complainant, Nikitha. So if Nikitha, the anger of the people is totally in Tamil Nadu, is diverting towards the Nikitha, the complainant, and the person who behind the screen acted on the words of Nikitha, or under the carpet. So they are yet to be brought to light. In this case, then Nikitha, the person who took the words of Nikitha so seriously and who gave such an order or instruction to these murderers, he has to be brought to light. But I personally feel maybe the senior officer or a person from secretariat, still it is in dark. That person has to be brought to light, and he has to be called before this Honorable High Court, or maybe before the inquiry officer. Why such an order was given? Why there was so much of seriousness has been given in this case? After all, it's a matter of only 10 sovereigns of theft. And so I feel in Tamil Nadu, slowly the anger of the people is getting diverted from the police authorities to the complainant. So I think now the second victim in this case has become Nikitha, but Nikitha also to be brought before the inquiry officer, and her background and all her previous history is secondary now. I'm saying once again, her previous history now has been brought to light by the media and also by the local people in social media. It is a planned action of the police authorities to divert the matter from their department to an individual who is a complainant. So this has to be taken very seriously, and no one can escape from this matter. No one should
Absolutely.
escape.
Absolutely.
This is very clear.
Absolutely. Satish, please stay on with us. Doctor, I would also request you to please stay on with us, on the broadcast. Let me quickly take a word from our reporter, Thoya Jakshi, who continues to stay on with us as well. Thoya, as far as the investigation is concerned, let's again apprise our viewers with regards to, the critical highlights of the investigation that has happened so far and what is going to be the next in this process.
Well, like you clearly mentioned that the investigation is still underway, Sakshi, where now that Nikitha is also coming to a light, and now that she has come out in the statement stating that she is not hiding or she's not absconding. So now that we'll have to wait and see that if at all the the police department in Tamil Nadu issues a arrest order, so that she will be arrested, and only then once she's been taken into custody for the interrogation, only then I think we will find out, we will get to know who is actually behind this and who actually asked the special team to go and assault Ajith Kumar in such a manner where it leads to his brutal death. And now that latest that's coming in over here, that TVK has filed a petition in Madras High Court since the protests that they were actually planning to do on Ajith Kumar's custodial death is currently delayed. So now that the TVK has actually filed a petition in Madras High Court, and they're asking for a SIT probe to be, happen in this matter, Sakshi.
Absolutely, Thoya. And what about the investigation that has happened so far? Anything grave coming out with regards to, this being a premeditated murder or maybe the custodial torture?
Of course, this until now has actually brought Nikitha into light, and brought information about who is Nikitha and what is her background. So slowly the investigation is actually becoming very transparent, because at the initial investigation only the SP who is currently under suspension and on a compulsory wait, Ashish Rawat, who had actually asked to take this matter on a serious and on a personal note and do the special investigation and the fair and transparent investigation. So that is how one by one development is actually coming out, where the links we are getting to know. But on the other hand, you can also see a few videos where people speaking that the DMK party has been threatening the family for not coming out and actually telling what exactly has happened. So basically they're threatening the family, and they're actually asking them to accept whatever the facility that the state government is actually providing to them, and also the money that the state government is providing, the 50 lakh rupee money and a government job to Ajith Kumar's brother, who's Naveen Kumar. And now that if they also threatened the family, where they're saying that if at all this you are not accepting, or if at all if they're trying to come out in the public and say what has happened, they would isolate them, and they would actually send them away from the village. So these kind of statements, it's coming in slowly, and also the investigation is still underway, Sakshi. We'll have to see, we'll have to wait and watch, what will be the next course of action in this matter, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Thoya, please stay on with us. Let me go back to Dr. Rao. Doctor, what kind of forensic evidence, say in this case, be the DNA, the tool marks, etc.? Because we are continuously saying that maybe the batons must be used, or an iron rod might be used here, because we saw the injury on abdomen. We are also, speculating that it might have penetrated the internal organs, could have led to the bleeding of the internal organs here as well. We are looking at the injuries in the skull, the internal bleeding. What kind of forensic evidence could actually help identify the tools which have been used, or the persons, the exact number of it, involved in such an assault?
See, the most important is in these particular cases is at the place where the person, between the death scene and the crime scene. So if both are same or not, means where the body was found and where exactly the injury occurred or the assault occurred. So all these two places has to be seized immediately by the so-called investigators. That is number one. And number two, in this particular scene, that scene in the crime scene, the most important aspect is the blood stains which are present. That samples need to be taken, and possible weapon of assault which has been used, as you pointed out about the rod or a baton or a stick or even the shoes. So all these things need to be seized and then examined for any materials which has transferred from the victim to that particular objects, like that of the blood, so that need to be examined. That is number two. And number three is the witnesses. The witnesses, whoever has witnessed inside the station, outside the station, or possible other more important thing is the technical evidences. Maybe the CCTV inside the police station or surrounding the police station, and the mobile phones, the calls which were exchanged between the so-called the officers or the police involved in this particular so-called custodial death. So their phones need to be seized, and thus call records, call dumping, and the Google coordinates. So all these things need to be closely analyzed to understand the conspiracy or circumstances which triggered them or forced them to use such excessive force and which has resulted in the death. And beside this, what are the circumstances which led to this arrest? And is it the same approach being given to such cases, or it is a approach which is highly suspicious? So all these things need to be analyzed. And beside this, and the clothes of the victim, the belongings of the victim, all these things to be seized and examined. This is what will be the holistic approach in cases of this nature, apart from the so-called autopsy report.